stroking my hair, I'm going to be a little bit concerned, Justin.
Should be concerned. I can't tell if you just died in this photo. Like,
Which one?
oh no.
Oh, do I look that bad?
No, you just look like you were not here. And you just continued to not be here for a while.
Okay.
So, could you please give me your name and your occupation?
Rachel, 4th and 5th grade teacher.
Where at?
I Am Academy South.
Is that here in Denver or
In
where is
Lakewood.
that? Okay. How long have you been teaching there?
2 months.
How long have you been a teacher overall?
3 years. I taught down in the Springs before this.
So you have had some experiences in multiple schools.
Yes.
In multiple different sections.
Yes.
Would you say that there is a stratification between the genders in the workplace?
Yes. Typically men teach older grades or administrators, and women teach the younger grades.
Really?
Yes.
Do you by chance know if there's any pay differentials between men and women?
Not that I know of. There could be. Pay is typically determined by years teaching and qualifications, so degrees.
Okay. So, talking about degrees, what kind of degrees do you have?
I have a bachelor's degree and I'm working on my master's degree.
Okay, so with a master's degree, I want to ask that question. I want to ask, pay. For my own benefit, like, how much would that increase your pay from?
It depends on the district, but it's normally between like $3,000 and $10,000 a year.
Are they paid for by the school?
No.
How much does a master's program cost?
The master's program I'm in is $20,000 for 2 years.
So it costs a minimum or a maximum of 7 years to make up the difference.
Yes.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so being in a predominant female environment, is there any sort of being in a predominantly women, how do I even say that? I'm sorry, hold on one sec while I think of how.
Heavily woman predominant field. Environment.
Does the workplace environment change with the addition of a male teacher? Since it is predominantly female, is it more?
Yes.
How does it change?
The kids are typically a little bit more respectful towards the male staff members than they are the females.
So, even talking about your classmates, so students themselves are willing to push a female teacher a lot more than they would ever be willing to push a male teacher.
Correct.
What sort of examples can you give of that?
Like if a female teacher asks a student to do something and then they'll refuse over and over. So if we call in like one of the male staff and they ask them to do the same thing, they'll do it right away. I don't know if it's like the voice difference between men and women, because women have a little bit more of like a tender voice with children than the men do. The men are a little bit more stern.
Have you noticed that working at both schools, or is it just at your current school?
Both schools.
Is it a little bit worse at your current school because of the background of the students?
Yes, it is definitely worse at my current school than it was at my last school.
Okay. What was the gender makeup of the last school? Was it mostly female teachers?
So we had 2 male teachers in the whole school, and there were 2 teachers for every grade level. Okay. And then the principal was male, and then we had 2 maintenance workers that were men, and that were the only men in the building. So it was like 60 women to 5 or 6 men.
Wow, that's kind of crazy, like the difference. So what kind of, have you felt like you've ever been biased against because you've been a woman in the field? Like because of your
I think the field
profession?
In general is biased towards because it's predominantly women. most of our pay is lower than it should be because they're like, oh, they're married, or oh, they have somebody else to help take care of them.
So what made you choose to get in the teaching profession in the first place?
I love kids. Like, I love helping them. I love watching kids learn. Like, it's so much fun when like kids are doing a problem and they don't understand it, and then you explain it to them a different way and they just like get it and their eyes light up.
So do you think that mentality right there, why you're in the profession, is because we sort of genderize we genderize these roles? Like the nurturing type has to be female, so therefore men typically aren't as geared towards that, so therefore there's going to be less men in the field?
I think so. Like, I've never really thought of it, but when you like break it down that way, it is very like you need to nurture the kids to help them grow and learn, which is a woman's job in our society.
Which is how we classify these genders, like, you know,
Yeah.
we've already stereotyped that the women are the nurturers, the caretakers, so therefore, you know, those are the qualities that we need to teach our children.
Yeah.
Okay, so cool. Now with male teachers, do they also exhibit those sort of qualities, or do you notice that they have different qualities when they're in the classroom?
They're very different in the classroom.
How so?
They're like, you're going to do it this way, we're going to do it this way. They kind of just are like stern and like...
Oh, they're very like strict.
Rigid.
Okay. So with your teaching style as the nurturing type, are you more one-on-one with kids, whereas the men are just like, this is the class, this is how it gets taught, good luck?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
Especially at the school I'm at now, like the men definitely are not like, they're more like, we're doing it this way, and like I do teach that way, but then I also like break it up and like kids work in groups, and I work one-on-one with kids that are struggling.
Okay. So because of your nurturing
Yeah.
mentality, that's just how you teach?
Yeah.
Okay. What else can I ask you? Have you ever found any hindrances because you're a female in the workplace? Do you find that males can get promoted more easily because it is, you know, predominantly female? Like a man just might have a different sort of view going in. Do you find being a woman inhibits your ability to get promoted in the workplace?
Yes and no. Like my last school, the principal did not have much teaching experience. I had no teaching experience and became principal. And the current school I'm at, all of the admin are male. Most of the men that started off as teachers moved into admin roles quicker.
Why do you think that is? Is that like the good old boy mentality, or just like what do you think causes
Well, my
that?
last school, it was definitely like the good old boy mentality. Like, he was friends with people that got him the job to be the principal. But at the current school, I think it's more like the men are more rigid and stern with the kids, so they do more discipline than the women do.
So they're perceived as stronger in, you know, how we view, you know, the leadership qualities.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you feel about that? Do you think that is good or bad for a school, especially, you know, when you are in a class and, you know, some students do need that leniency, they do need that nurturing quality, you know, having a different viewpoint might benefit the admin board, whereas, you know, having all the same mentality is just kind of locking them into a certain sort of mindset.
I think it kind of depends. Like, I know one of our admin, the assistant principal, is female, and so she kind of brings that nurturing side in.
Okay.
With discipline talks, and then also, like, it does definitely, like, in the classrooms, it's more females than it is men.
Not for the camera, but like, do you think that's like where they put females, like
Kind of.
sort of pigeonhole them?
Kind of.
What sort of other topics can I talk to you about? gender in your workplace?
Science and math. It's a big one.
So do you feel like you are passed over teaching certain subjects because of being a woman? Like,
Not for me as much since I'm in the elementary school,
okay.
because I teach all
Right.
of the subjects. But
So it doesn't get broken up till later.
yeah, but like in the high school, in middle school, the female staff in the middle school teach language arts, and the men teach the science and math classes.
And that's at your school, correct?
Correct, at the current school I'm at. But my last school, it was the women taught math and science, and the 2 language arts classes that were offered for the middle school were taught by men.
So based off those experiences, you can't really say definitively like it's more gendered studies for like math or science and language arts or...
Correct.
Okay.
But I know like in some schools it's...
Some schools have that
Yeah.
perception.
Yes, like men are better at teaching math and science, and women are better at teaching like language arts because it's more touchy-feely and not concrete.
Some cold women who would be great in math and sciences then. Talk to my ex. Is there anything that you want to talk to about gender?
Like not from being a teacher, but as a teacher, there's a lot of like gender stereotypes that my students see.
Yeah, so how do students perceive you? Like, how do students talk to you? Like, are you verbally berated or, I guess, for lack of a better term, like assaulted more often than a male teacher would be?
Yes, especially when I'm asking them to do math and sciences.
What do you mean?
It's like, so if I am teaching a math lesson, my kids don't pay attention, but if like a male staff member comes to help me, like support me, they'll pay more attention to the math lesson.
So have you ever tried different tactics
Yeah, I have.
And nothing works?
Like we've tried so many different things where like we started off differently and like the kids are like, no, you can't teach us math, you're a girl. And then like I do end up teaching them math lessons and they're like, whoa, we get this. Like more than they've ever gotten it. Because I get math more than I get like the language arts side.
Mm-hmm.
But that's because I've always done better in math than I did in reading. But like my female students are like, I can't be good at math because I'm a girl.
So in your classroom, do you find yourself that you have to break down some of these gender stereotypes
Yes.
as well, especially for your students?
Yes, I do. So I have like books that I love reading books to them that have like social lessons in them, and there's like great books on like women that have become engineers and like Rosie the Riveter or Rosie the Engineer, and like picture books that they can understand that like show women that it's okay to be creative and be okay. It's okay to be good at math. There is Rosie the Riveter, and then there's also Rosie the Engineer.
Oh, is there
there's like a
another
little
one?
picture book.
Oh, okay. I was about to say it was Rosie the Riveter.
Yeah, but like there's like real life examples like Rosie the Riveter that they can learn from, and there's also like picture books that are like little kids that are like creating stuff in STEM.
So how do
subjects.
these... So when you're talking to your, I guess, female or male students about, what they can or can't do you have to clearly state that it's not because they're a male or female that they can just do whatever they want to do?
Yes, I do all the time. Like one of my little girls, so I was like, I can't be good at math because I'm a girl. I'm like, no, you can be good at math. Like you are good at math. Like you don't need to like hold yourself back because you don't want to outshine the boys in math. Like go, girl.
Do you find that that's more common in your current school?
No, it's about the same.
Really?
So I came
Okay.
from like, my last school was upper middle class and upper class students. The school I'm at is predominantly free and reduced school lunch and low income students, and like it's still pretty much across the board. It might have been even like a little bit more so in my last school where it was upper middle class and upper class students.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's a crazy difference that I wouldn't have expected to hear.
Yeah, like my girls at my last school are like, I'm not good at math because I'm a girl. Like all of the girls. It wasn't just like a handful of girls.
Was it more or less as a perception that they could use that as an out rather than they truly believe that they were not good?
No, they truly believed that they were like not good. Like they wouldn't try their hardest on their homework, and I could tell. And I'm like, you need to try this again. Like I know you can do better. Like you do better. Like you do great when we're doing it on the whiteboards in class, and then like when you do it on your board, like your homework assignment, they won't do as well. Because they're like, I don't have to be good at math. I'm a girl, and I'm like, no, you still need to be good at math, even though you are a girl. Like
so that kind of answers the question. Like like in that example, they were kind of using that as an out.
Yes.
Not as they didn't believe that they were
Yeah.
good, but because they shouldn't be good.
Yeah. And then like most of them have learned like, oh, I can't be good at math. It's okay to be good at math. Like I should be good at math. Like I should try my hardest in everything, not just reading and writing.
So do you work with some older teachers who you've shared some experiences with about like some of these students, and have you guys talked about like an increase or decrease in these mentalities?
It's pretty much stayed constant through the years.
Okay.
Because like even when I was in school, I had teachers telling me, oh, you can't be good at math, you're a girl. Like, except for now, instead of teachers telling us that, I think it's the students telling themselves that. And teachers are like, no, you can be good at math because you're a girl. So I think teachers are trying to, like, flip the stereotypes that society is, like, kind of put on them. But they've...
So as of now, it's become more ingrained as, like, almost an unspoken stereotype.
Yeah.
Whereas before, yes, no, we're going to push the boys harder than the women for math and sciences.
Yes.
Like, women, you guys need to take home ec.
Mm-hmm.
Boys, you get to take...
engineering, calculus.
Yeah.
Biology, chemistry.
So now with the freedom of choice, especially in the high schools where you can truly perceive most avenues,
Yes.
that it's coming down upon the teachers to break those
Yes.
norms.
Yeah, like, and it starts even like in the elementary schools, like we're like telling our girls,
Right,
female
right.
students, like you can be good at this, you are good at this, like don't sit there and pigeonhole yourself because you're a girl.
So where do you think some of these students get these ideas?
Probably from their parents, because their parents got them from like their teachers and parents, and also from like society, like movies and books. Like a lot of them are like, not a lot, but there are a lot of like kids shows where it's like the boy is really good at math and the girls are not as good at math.
Like Dexter's Laboratory, perfect example.
Yes, it's exactly what I was thinking about. We don't have as many of those shows now, but like they still can watch them.
What was that popular kid show from a while back? Phineas and Ferb?
Yes, where like the boys were like, we're gonna build this rocket ship, and then the sister's like, Mom, Phineas and Ferb are doing it again.
Yeah.
Like the girl was like, no, we're not doing this, but the boys were like, yes, science rocks.
Yeah. So some of those perceived connotations are just seeping into the minds of the children, especially at that young age.
Yeah.
So they're just carrying that into the school. So as your job, it's sort of breaking down even cartoons influences on these kids.
And like showing them like positive influences in math and science and females. Like women can run a math and science or STEM field.
Which sadly is a bit more difficult because we don't have easy to digest programming on Cartoon Network to empower these women.
Yeah, so that it comes down to like the teachers and the parents, and I don't think parents are realizing that there's that in the background.
That it
they're
is
seeing.
influencing their children in drastic ways.
Yeah. Like even like Disney movies don't do it. Like think about Beauty and the Beast. Bella's only supposed to read a book. And when
we're trying to get away with that with, movies like Moana or Frozen, but there was still some stupid subplot about, Elsa's sister having to get married.
Yeah, and so like that's what these girls are seeing. Like, oh, I have to be married to be successful. When they don't need that. And they can do anything.
Now, moving back to the workplace, especially outside of the workplace, do you find that your profession is much more accepted among the general populace as to say a male teacher, or do you think they're about evenly accepted?
No, I think people are like, oh, you're a teacher, that's so fitting. And like when they hear that about men, they're like, what's wrong with you? Are you a child molester? Like, especially with everything that's been in the news, like all these male teachers like doing inappropriate things with their kids. So like when people hear like, oh, you're a teacher, like that's so fitting, you're a woman.
So do you think that also provides some of the genderizing of these jobs where men, even though if they do want to teach at say like your grade level,
yeah,
they can't, because there's this preconceived notion that hey, they're probably a child molester, even though that's
typically not the problem. It's
right.
Just the news like focuses so heavily on that. So like I have friends that I went to college with and we all studied elementary education and they're male, and like one of them got a job for his first job was teaching first grade, and people were like, what's wrong with you, you're teaching first grade? And like, I mean, he ended up being a great first grade teacher because he's a great teacher, but like people like
they were still questioning his motives, so to speak.
Yeah, he even told me like people are like looking at me crazy because I'm like, I'm Mr. So-and-so, I'm your child's first grade teacher, and like some of the parents were like, what is wrong with this man and why is he our first grader's teacher? Like, especially in younger grades, like it should stereotypically it's women. Like think about like Matilda, Miss Honey was her second grade teacher. I'm trying to think of other school movies, but it's like a woman.
Right, and I mean, even, I don't know about your experiences, you probably had predominantly female teachers, especially through the younger grades.
Yeah, I had, in elementary school, my third grade teacher was male. But I think there were 2 or 3 male teachers in the building.
Like your homeroom teacher, or
he was all of my classes teacher.
Okay.
So like my homeroom teacher at third grade, he was male, but that was kind of it.
So, just a side question because I'm curious. So, where you went to school, like, everything was taught by one teacher?
Yes.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the grade school that I went to had like art, music, gym, and there was a science class. The science class we switched teachers for.
Yeah.
Like, otherwise the other teacher taught everything, but I mean the other classes, like, we would be shipped off. Yeah,
we like got shipped off for special, so art, music, and PE. And our art and music teacher were female, and our PE teacher was male. Which is also such a stereotype that men are the PE teachers in the elementary schools. Like, I have guy friends that are like, oh yeah, I'm a teacher. And people are like, oh, are you a PE teacher? Like, that's what people always think. Like, they don't think, oh, he's actually a classroom teacher.
So even within being a teacher, there's still stereotyped as being like, no, you gotta be like the PE teacher.
Yes.
Okay.
Like at all of the schools I've been at, our PE teacher has been male. Even like before I started like full on teaching, when I was doing observations in schools, the PE teacher was always male. I think I've met one female PE teacher and working in schools for the last 10 years.
I think I can probably cut a 3 to 5 minute bit out of that.
I hope so.
All right, Rachel, thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thanks. You too.
Oh.